Hey guys, another day, another crazy thing to talk about. Well, this is Gospel Bible saying that poverty is a virtue. So, guys, we're going to quickly check the definition of the word virtue. You see that a behavior showing high moral standards or a quality considered morally good or desirable in a person. So let's just quickly hear how Bible said it. Then I'm going to come back and talk about it briefly.
And you have a man who died as a man today, the Pope, who was worth only $100, showing that yes, we can.
And by the way, that is incorrect. I'm going to get into that later.
Not worship God in splendor, and that the best way to worship God is to worship God through self-sacrifice for others. So the message is very clear that Nigerians should love one another, and that poverty is not a crime, and that poverty could sometimes be a virtue of God.
He said poverty could sometimes be a virtue. Just now when we read the definition of the meaning of the word virtue, he said a behavior showing high moral standards, equality considered morally good or desirable in a person. Poverty is simply the lack of finance, simply the lack of money to meet one's needs and desires. That's what poverty is. Poverty has no business with virtue. There are poor people who have no moral standards. There are wealthy people who have no moral standards. That poverty sometimes can be considered a virtue. It simply shows how disconnected these people are from the Nigerian reality. And this is the number 3 man in Nigeria. This is a man that is the chief lawmaker in this country, and this is the mindset he has. So he's not in a race to, pull Nigerians out of poverty. China keeps, there's something called the Chinese miracle, how they pulled about 400 or 500 million people out of poverty. And we have the number 3 man in Nigeria telling Nigerians that don't think of poverty as a bad thing. It could be a sign that you're a virtuous person. That's your function as government, to pull people out of poverty, which you guys are failing at. That's why he's in no hurry to get Nigerians out of poverty, because he thinks that sometimes it can be a good thing. It can be virtuous. And the other thing he said when he said that the Pope had only $100 as his net worth is completely untrue. Here is an article from Marca which simply talks about the net worth of the Pope. He said Pope Francis is worth an estimated $100 million due to all the assets he enjoys from his position as the Pope of the Catholic Church. He has 5 cars at his disposal, and we can also count his income as part of his net worth, despite not using any of the money he gets paid. That definitely counts as part of his net worth. Not to mention the Catholic Church has an outrageous net worth just from assets they possess. Pope Francis, actually gave away his entire salary, so he doesn't really earn money for himself. Of course, he can do this because all of his needs are met by the church. So saying that he was worth $100, I don't know where he get that figure from, but that is clearly not true. Nobody willfully makes the choice to be poor. People find themselves with poverty out of choices or economic conditions that before them. But saying that poverty is a virtue, I don't know where he got that from, but I think that's just wrong. And this simply shows how they see the Nigerian project. They are in no hurry to pull Nigerians out of poverty because somehow they think poverty can be a good thing. Poverty can never be a good thing.